Warning, we are a spoilers podcast. At times we are also an offensive podcast. And we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. Alright, pussies, this is your final warning.
Diving into another round of Troma torture. I'm Chris.
Troma. And I am Zeff.
And this is Cinematic Anarchy. And we like our Troma movies. So, well, okay.
Chris likes his Troma.
I like my Troma movies. And I think it kind of fits. I think it fits with the idea of what Cinematic Anarchy should be about. You got low-budget films, you got people that can barely act, and you throw them all together and barely pay them, barely feed them, and film them and see what happens.
Troma.
Today we're going to go ahead and do a quick review for the 1987 cult classic, Surf Nazis Must Die. And I'm going to go ahead and let Seth speak his mind, because he's been telling me how terrible he doesn't like the movie.
It was atrocious. Alright, so start of the film. Got a bunch of little kids, Nazi symbols on their face, listening to the old guy, Adolf. It's Adolf. Adolf is what they call him.
His name's actually Ricky.
Well, they call him Adolf.
But now he's calling himself Adolf.
It's Adolf, and a couple of people call him Adolf. We don't really know. And they're like, yeah, goofy-footed surfers aren't meant to be on this beach. I was like, okay. So they're just going to be beating people up because of the surfing? No. They're taking over control of the beach itself, because that's where the money is, apparently.
All right.
And no matter how bad this neighborhood of beach is getting, people still go to the beach.
Well, you know why it's as bad as it is right now. You caught that little plot point about the 8.6 earthquake that kind of totaled coastal. Oh yeah, see, we got a lot of noise happening over here. I don't know why. It's like we're trying to record, and then the computer just wants to chime in too. Hey, I'm here. Well, of course you're here. We're recording on you. Fuck off. So yeah, it's post. It's not post-apocalypse, but post-earthquake, and basically all the gangs are pretty much taking over the city. I believe they're thinking this is supposed to be Los Angeles.
The city?
The city? No?
The beaches. They don't care about the city.
But yeah, so this is specifically about beach-faring gangs.
Each gang has 3 members in it, except for the Nazis.
Well, there are multiple members of each gang, but there's 3 prominent members of each gang.
Not the samurai surfers.
Yeah, there's the 3 guys. Now, do you know what their names are? Like, I thought, like, they didn't really give you their names during the actual movie, but, like, I went and read ahead in the IMDb, and I was looking at it. Their names are Wang, Yin, and Yang.
Yep. They were the only 3 Asian ones. There
was, I think, the kind of the ones that actually looked like surfer dudes, like the Jesus loving ones. I believe they were called Curl, Blow, and Dry.
Yeah, they were the fashion surfers, I think is what they called them.
Yeah,
there were 3 of them.
Then you have there was the skate rats. There were more of them. There was a bunch of kids on skateboards. There was like 6 or 7 of them.
They were the land surfers, surfing the new wave.
Yeah.
That's what they went by. They were the rats originally, but then they're like, we're not the rats anymore. We're the land surfers.
Okay, yeah, good.
Surfing the new wave. So there were them.
Your concrete surfers.
Yeah, there was a few of them, but they were like 12. So, you gotta... The younger you are, the more you need your numbers.
And they were like the informants, basically. They were like the ones with their ears to the ground.
Yeah. And then there was the bikers. The bikers had a few of them in there, but they were just like...
I think there was just that one scene. There was the bikers, and they... it sounds like they were running drugs for the surf Nazis.
Something. We were a kilo short.
A couple of kilos short this last time. All in all, interesting movie. I liked that they used popular villains. We had Mengele.
I like Mengele.
You had Adolf. The young lady's name was Eva. And then, of course, you had Hook.
Yeah, and you'll never guess why.
Gee, I mean, why would they call Hook Hook? Well, he was a male hooker.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Okay.
A prostitute.
Prostitute, yeah. No. He had a nice shiny, or a couple of shiny hooks.
Yeah, he had one thin one giant one that was kind of made out of, like, sheet metal.
Right. That's one of the things Mengele liked to do. He liked to make new hooks for Hook.
Yeah, well, he liked to create, you know. What I am very mad, though, is that the switchboard didn't get any real action.
No?
I wanted to see him, like, on the wave and just, like, and then, like, you know, take somebody out with it. You know,
Just
but...
hook somebody while he's, well. And then, of course, we had the most... I want to say the one that had the most screen time outside of Adolf was Schmeg. It's the only one who you actually get to see his parents.
Yeah, his mom.
Schmeg's mom.
Who's almost the exact same age as Smeg.
So I want to say 90% of the movie, it revolved around Eleanor Washington and her son Leroy. Leroy gets killed by Adolf. No, was it Adolf that killed him?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. Well, he was killed by the surf Nazis anyway. And Eleanor Washington, his grandmother, who he had just put in a home, because her place, because of her, the earthquake, the place basically burnt down. She vows revenge on the surf Nazis. So it's a little bit about the surf Nazis trying to take over the beach, and a little bit about Eleanor trying to take out the surf Nazis.
She had the American Bible.
I think
she was a very religious, strong, kind woman initially. When I say kind, I mean, like, she didn't put up with anybody's shit, but, like, if you needed help, I bet you she would have helped you, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like your grandma. And then...
She's like a Medea figure, almost.
And then her only relative dies.
Yeah,
Gets murdered.
It was an hour and a half film. The film was around an hour and a half, and it really felt like it was longer.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like it was a much longer movie. Mm-hmm. I think mainly because a lot of the action, there was a lot of, like, dead points, no talking. There was kind of a lot of moving, like with Schmeg's mom, that whole interaction when you first see them in the kitchen and they're yelling back and forth at each other, and Schmeg's mom gives them a couple of bucks and she goes back to chopping. You could have stopped right there. But then she kept chopping for a minute, had some weird revelation, sighed, and moved down the way in front of the sink and just kind of sighed. And that was completely unnecessary. You don't need that. There's a little too much. Yeah. And that was throughout the entire thing. And much to my love of Troma here, this is the third movie that we've watched that had a very extended sex scene.
Yes.
They always seem to have one scene where they focus on two people having sex at length.
And Schmeg...
of course, yeah, Schmeg was doing the peeping Tom thing from the top of the rock, just kind of watching them.
Boobies!
When they close-upped on the girl's face, they did a close-up on her. You really felt like she was going to open her eyes and go, Schmeg! You know?
Yeah. I thought...
But
fucking weirdo. Nope, he got his jollies off and then left.
That at least would have been entertaining to me, but no. We got to just have him being a peeping Tom, creepy, and then just walk off. Nobody caught me.
Boobies, because apparently there's only, this one girl is like, queen shit.
Now that I'm thinking about it, not a lot of girls in this movie.
There was
the handful of girls that there was the one from the bar.
There was the old lady.
The two girls that Schmeg was talking to at the beach about how they killed Leroy.
Yeah, the blonde, and then the one in the purple bikini with the huge tits.
Oh, and then the leader of the surf rats. She brought the surf rats into the original meeting.
Oh, I didn't see her.
Yeah, they all kind of lined up, then sat on their skateboards, and then she kind of walked down the way, walked back, and then sat in between them.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was interesting. Apparently, the actual... What was the name of the ninjas there, again?
The Samurai Surfers.
The Samurai Surfers.
I don't know if that's, their clique name, but...
It's possible. It's as good a name as any.
I just remember that at one point they were like samurai surfers, and then they go over and then they fight.
Which, horrible fight scene, by the way.
You're telling me.
But
first of all, you're ninjas.
They had no woman at all. There's no women with them. No women with the Jesus surfers.
No.
The fashionista surfers, or whatever you call them.
Yep. None of that.
So.
Just a bunch of 3 squad gang members.
Big gangs, yeah.
Who cannot fight.
Well, I suppose they probably couldn't have afforded to hire any more people. You can't go the way of like the Warriors with this, where you have like massive gangs getting together in one big area, because that costs money.
You could have cut it down and had 2 gangs. Not 5, 6, 7, 8. You could have had 2 gangs. You could have reused some of these people and put makeup on them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, coulda, woulda, shoulda. So, I mean, all in all, I mean, I get why it was as low rated as it was. I liked it. I think it was one of their better productions, and we've seen a few. There's a few that you've seen that you didn't particularly like.
All of them. No.
But of the let's say, where are we? 4 in now that you've actually seen from beginning to end. Which one would you say is the best of those 4?
Kabuki Man.
Kabuki Man. Yeah, you loved Kabuki Man.
I did love Kabuki Man. That's what Kabuki Man done, eh?
Did you? Okay, so you've seen Kabuki Man with me. You've seen Class of Nukem High.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Tromeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
I'd say you'd probably put that one under this.
I put that one above this one.
Oh, you put that one above this one?
Yeah, there was at least like humor there.
Even though it like traumatized you, it was at least memorable. No, I think that's the 4. They haven't gotten into much else.
No, we haven't. There's one scene. I'm bringing it up now.
Okay.
You can actually see the mic, the sound mic.
The sound mic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay.
As soon as I find it.
As soon as you
keep
find
talking.
it. So, what am I going to keep talking about? You're going to sit here and talk to myself. I'm not good at that. That's why I invited you on here.
I'll continue to throw my piece out there.
You know, we have 4 people on this podcast for a reason. It's because if I could do a podcast by myself and just talk to me for an hour and a half, I'd do it. But I know that I'm more entertaining when I'm playing off people. Or when people... I said playing off, not playing with. Get your mind out of the gutter.
We're watching Troma movies. It's all about the gutter.
It's all about the gutter. But, no, I mean, I liked the movie. I don't think Adolf was the most charismatic guy in this movie at all.
Nope.
I think that Mengele definitely was the most charismatic. There we go. There's my tongue. Tripped on it. Doesn't taste good. Need to keep my feet off my tongue. And there's little Miss Sugar making lots of noise, running around the building. And, yeah, he was definitely the more charismatic of the surf Nazis. Is anybody else you liked?
No, really, just Mengele.
Just Mengele?
What I was very disappointed in was the all the fight scenes, but the one where they're the girl Adolf and Eva are like laying down on the beach, right? And then they like sneak up to him like off the surfboards. You know, they're coming in from like the water, and they insist on doing like cartwheels and flips while they're sneaking up on them, and you can like hear them like doof, doof, doof. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to kill these people, and you're instead of like sneaking up, like tiptoeing over, you're doing cartwheels right next to their head. They wake up and then you fight them. No, like you
oh my god, this is the loudest sand ever!
You were there to murder.
You're there to murder, not to do cartwheels. This is not the Olympics. You're not in some competition. You're supposed to be fucking stealthy. I get it. Do a cartwheel while you're in the middle of the battle, not just before the battle when you're trying to sneak up on 2 sleeping people.
And kill them.
You know.
Ended up being an ambush to them.
Well, they ambushed themselves.
Well, yeah, by letting them know. Like, I even if they were fake sleeping, you could have killed them. You know what I mean? Like, their eyes were shut until you did a cartwheel right next to their head. You should have just dove stab. You know, like...
So, I mean, the surf Nazis decided to take over, right? So you got 3-man gangs all over the place. You had enough people that you could have taken out the surf Nazis. Mm-hmm. And they all decided to work together after a couple people had already been taken out. Why? Why not just work together one frontal attack? Why did they all split up and try to attack from different areas?
Yeah, they should have actually...
Oh, and Brutus. Brutus bit it. He bit it pretty badly. Because he got, what, did he get shot or something? Or stabbed?
Blown up by the grenade? Oh, he got, this guy, right?
Yeah.
He got, like, acid thrown in his face or something. And
right, somebody threw acid or something in his face.
So Adolf ended up killing him.
Adolf killed him with the same weapon that he almost killed one of the other guys with earlier. Mm-hmm. I remember Brutus hanging up in the eaves and shooting the spear gun at one of the guys during the first meeting. Mm. So, I don't think Brutus was particularly entertaining at all.
No, he was not. Once again, Megula shows like how great of a character he was. You know what I mean? He's like, you know, at least I don't have like, you know, so like whatever, like a penis thing. Like at least I'm not overcompensating for my penis. And he grabs the harpoon gun.
Mengele was like the Jekyll and Hyde of this movie. Hmm. He was sometimes very peaceful, very artistic, liked creating, and then sometimes he just went completely off the fucking deep end.
Yeah.
Which is why I liked him. Probably best actor in the entire movie.
Yeah, he was very sinister. And it came down to even, Ava's like, we all need to remember who our leader is. And he's like, all right. He's like, and I now introduce Ava. You know what I mean? Like, showing, like, she's the one who, like, wears the pants pretty much.
And that guy that got blown up by the grenade, just before he got blown up, he was laying next to a bit of graffiti on the wall that said something to the nature of give a hot beef injection to a cold dead corpse. That's what the graffiti said.
Yeah, there was a bunch of weird graffiti out there.
But you get a feeling that they saved a lot of their money by filming on open beaches and filming in different areas, like industrial areas that were kind of run down.
Yeah, this one particular beach scene, you can see like a bunch of boats going around in the background. And it's like, yeah, that could be a thing on the beach, but...
I like the fact that they had an entire fight scene in boats.
I like that. My favorite scene is when she got run over by the boat. I hated her.
Ava?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely an entertaining... that was probably the most entertaining fight scene anyway. Okay, so have you found your scene yet?
I have not.
You're still trying to figure it out? Mm-hmm. You remember approximately where it was?
I know it has to do with their hideout.
Is it probably one of the goofs that they mentioned here?
They as they're looking like into like the stone hideout, you know,
there we
you
go.
Don't see anybody.
As Mengele comes out of the bunker holding his neck, a boom mic is visible.
Yeah.
Okay. So, throughout the movie, the surf Nazi swastikas are facing different directions, which also changes the meaning behind the symbol.
What happened?
So, throughout the entire movie, the surf Nazi swastikas are actually facing different directions, which changes the meaning of the symbol. Because there's one that's, for, the Nazis, and then there's the other way. It's if it's inverted, it's actually a symbol of peace.
The Japanese symbol.
So yeah, I don't really have a lot else to say about the movie. I mean, there's something about a movie that starts out with a bunch of children chanting "Surf Nazis must die," or not "Surf Nazis must die." What were they chanting? "Surf Nazis," just surf Nazis. Who rules the beach? Surf Nazis. Who rules the beach? Surf Nazis. Okay.
Apparently not. Eleanor runs the beach.
The first time I picked up this movie when I was a lot younger. It was I want to say, there's a video store that was downtown here by where Building 19 used to be. If anybody that's listening to this even knows what the fuck a Building 19 is, it's like one of those stores that pride themselves on buying out large lots of stores that are either going out of business, fire sales, so on and so forth, and then they resell the stuff through their store.
Building 19 and I believe 3/8 is what it was.
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 of them around here. They didn't want to rename the stores, but they wanted to give them each their own individual personality. So it was, Building 19 and a half, Building 19 and a quarter, 3/8, 1/10, so on and so forth. The video store in that particular plaza, I was used to renting stacks of VHS cassettes, and then I'd go to a friend of mine, Allison's, for the weekend, and us and a couple of buddies would get together, and we would literally just binge watch VHS horror movies and weird shit that we found. And I think that I had intended to rent Surf Ninjas. Do you remember Surf Ninjas at all? It's an old movie with, I believe, Ernie Reyes and a very young Rob Schneider. Like when he was like in his teens and 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the whole movie was just based around these 3 guys who gain ninja skills and they're surfers. It's the whole plot point right there. There's not a lot to that movie, but I remember liking it when I was younger. I think I went to go rent that for myself and my siblings at home, and we had another stack of movies, and I think I rented this instead. And we went to put it on, and it's just like, wait a minute, this is definitely not Surf Ninjas.
We got it, we finally got it, Surf Ninja. Oh, Nazis.
Surf Nazis. It starts with an N. There's definitely ninjas, or I guess samurais in here. Not what I thought it was at all. I apologize for all the expletives, Ma. I don't know. It was an entertaining movie, for me anyway. I've seen a lot of really, really bad stuff. So, as bad movies go, I want to say that we're going... This is about... I don't even call it mid-range bad movie. It's a little lower than mid-range.
It is.
If we're going on a scale from 1 to 10 when we're talking about bad movies, not all movies, because if you're talking about all movies, it goes much lower. But 1 to 10, just out of the bad movies we've watched, I'd probably give it like a 3.5, 4. Because there's some movies we've watched that were just truly, truly irredeemable.
Yeah.
Including one we still have not done a podcast about because we watched it and we were just like, I don't even know what the fuck to do with that. Oh yes, that was The Killing Death. I don't know what to do with that. He wanted us to go on. I'm talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do a full podcast on it, and I didn't know how to write it up. I liked the lead villain a bit. He was probably the best, most charismatic actor in the entire group, and everybody else just seemed to be there. Let him do what he wants. Okay, why is he nailing me in the butt with the screwdriver? Tell him to stop. Is this supposed to happen? Why is that actually on?
My first gay experience ever, and I'm getting a screwdriver in the ass.
Drill, actually. My apologies. It wasn't a screwdriver. I said screwdriver.
Yeah, but
it was a drill.
Power drill screw.
That was a weird fucking movie about a guy collecting body parts so he can eat it on a pizza.
Then have his girlfriend eat it.
To become immortal.
Together.
But yeah, that's probably the bottom of the barrel of the movies we've watched.
Definitely.
And there have been a couple of other stinkers right down there. But this is about mid-range, a little lower than mid-range. I think that's all we can really say about Surf Nazis Must Die.
That I agree.
So, Surf Nazis, you have died. We're done.
Eleanor, you were the best.
I liked the movie. Mr. Mengele, we loved you the most. Eleanor, well, you gotta love a revenge-seeking grandma movie. I think they could. She was charismatic enough that they could have done a bit more with her, but she was in, out, in, out, in, out.
Yeah.
They didn't focus on her enough.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they actually did something with her though, because if they just had her in there every now and again, and there was nothing.
If they didn't have Eleanor in the movie, this movie would have been irredeemable.
Yeah.
So we have to at least give kudos to the actress that played Eleanor, Mama Washington. That's Gail Neely. And we have to give thanks to her son, who got killed and sent her on her little revenge streak. That's Robert Harden playing Leroy.
I did like the store clerk It was like, we got the ladies, the Saturday Night Ladies special, and it's a tiny gun. She's like, I want a gun that'll blow a cracker's head off from 20 paces. And he's just like, oh, okay. And
you're a woman who seems to know what she wants.
All right, I can get you anything you want. Like,
and you realize that he basically brought her a German weapon.
Yeah.
A German pistol.
Yeah.
So that'll blow their head off. Hell, that'll blow their whole upper torso off. Okay.
Yep. I could get you grenades, too.
And, Seth, you thank Ava for dying.
Yep.
Don Wildsmith. And, of course, Mengele. Michael Sonyi. We liked him throughout.
Yeah, he was definitely the ringing character in there. He had he was sinister, he was evil, he was kind, he was also not kind. He was like
creative, he was artistic.
Yeah.
And he also had a lust for blood.
I thought he was gonna try and take over the gang.
I actually thought that scene where Adolf came in to meet him with the bat behind his back, I thought he was gonna kill him.
I thought they were gonna do some gay stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so you thought gay. I thought he was gonna whip out the bat and just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna argue a little bit because, obviously he doesn't like Ava for some reason. They were going to argue for a little bit. He was going to come in there. They were going to argue, and then they were going to do gay stuff there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry.
Here comes the bat.
Yeah, right. Spiked bat.
Take that. No?
Pretty much. I was like, oh no.
Oh, Adolf. No.
Right. It was one or the other.
It was one or the other. He was going to get beaten to death or beaten off. One of the two. And neither happened.
They just
argued
for 2 seconds and then walked away.
And it was the most awkward scene, too, because full audio, but these guys are half a mile down the way in some, I don't even know what that was, a shed or something, with a little fire burning here, a little fire burning there.
They definitely, why did he have the bat?
What was the point to the bat? What was the point to showing nothing but his legs in the bat as he's walking in? You made that the focus, but he did not use it. You're crazier than me, Mengele!
For us to think.
Alright, fuck it. We're going to go to our sponsors now, and we'll be back with the Pitchstorm portion of our podcast.
Pitchstorm!
Stay tuned, motherfuckers. Alright, and we're back from selling you stuff you don't need, and we're ready to do the Pitchstorm portion of our podcast. We got our cards all nice and ready. And we're going to go ahead and start with me.
Yeah, okay. We can start with you.
You can start with you if you want.
It doesn't matter. I still need to think about how I want to put mine together anyways.
Well, I've got plenty to think about here. Okay. So, my pitch storm starts exterior, swimming pool. 2 sisters obsessed with death are trapped in an undersea lab with a mysterious monster. And the notes for this are, great news! We're going to cast porn stars in every role. How can you make use of their talents?
All right. Well, if the exterior is a pool, how are we going to do this? It's an undersea lab.
Well, it's an undersea lab. Technically, if the exterior is a pool, couldn't the exterior be the sea? It's like God's pool.
Alright, so we'll have God's pool. Let's throw it at the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
It's coming from, I'm an agnostic, so I don't know what God's pool that happens to be. It could be God's toilet bowl for all I fucking know.
It could be. It's our toilet bowl with all the trash we throw in there.
And apparently we're going to be casting this movie entirely with porn stars. Now, I am not up on current day porn stars at all. I know Gina Jameson, and I know Mia Khalifa, and that is about the full extent of my knowledge. And I could not name a male porn star worth the life of me, so this would be a very female-heavy movie.
Yes.
Because...
Well, it's 2 sisters anyways.
So yeah, we got... There you go, there are your 2 sisters. Mind you, their sisters a great distance apart. I feel like Mia might have been adopted because she's a hell of a lot younger.
Yeah.
So you got Gina Jameson and Mia Khalifa playing sisters, and we'll make Mia bleach her hair out blonde so they can both be blonde in the movie.
So we're going to do Ron Jeremy, who plays the monster.
Or part of Ron Jeremy can play the monster.
Just his penis just flopping all over the place.
Just, penis puppetry, you know? Just see, the shadow of this massive penis just bodum, bodum, coming down the hall. Apparently the Jaws theme music.
It should be all gawks though.
Massive underground sea monster penis. You know.
Oh no! And they're running around. You know, somehow they fall 50 different times.
It's the lost cock monster.
The lost cock monster.
The lost cock monster. There you go.
There's the name for it. So we're pretty much directing a porn here.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're going.
All right. So there is going to be a pizza delivery guy. How? We don't know. They ordered pizza months ago.
Pizza delivery guy. He comes up, snorkel, scuba suit, and everything. Just
the guy from Papa John's
knocks on the window. Just you see a pizza box, but there's no pizza in there. So it's just a soggy pizza box. Just
no, he did his job. You know what I mean? He put it in plastic.
No.
Yeah, it's got to stay warm.
Maybe he's got a waterproof one of those little ovens.
Yeah,
that they carry their pizzas in.
They have that stupid 30-minute rule, and they're like, it's been over 30 minutes.
He's knocking on the window, showing them his watch. It's counting down.
What? And they're giggling and everything. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't. And then finally, after it's 31 minutes, he goes in through the right area, and they're like, you're late. Fuck do you mean? He thinks he's gonna get
Well, I stood outside. I was swimming outside your window for the better part of 10 minutes, and then the airlock took 30 minutes to decompress. Of course I'm late.
Well, we could at least make it up to you, and then they do the Pizza Man scene.
That's the only 70s porn music that I can remember. Just
there's gonna be me in there with a mustache somewhere. I have to be a part of this movie.
You're gonna make yourself a porn star?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Zeff with a porn stash.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this 1970s style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just me. Just
right.
me. The music and me.
Just the music and you.
70s porn.
You're just gonna be by yourself in the movie?
I'm gonna be
That's gonna be awkward.
I'm gonna be the control guy. You know what I mean?
You're the guy that's in every scene that isn't having sex.
Yeah. No. I'm the guy that watches all the monitors. You know what I mean? I'm the security guy, but I never leave my place. Nobody knows that I'm there.
No. I like the idea of you being the maintenance guy. So they're near the airlock having sex with the pizza guy, and you're just over there just fixing the airlock, cleaning up the mess that he made. You know. And then there's some big scene where the cock monster comes in, and you're just off to the side, just fixing something. You know.
I don't.
Every scene
do
fixing something.
So fucking dick hits me on the shoulder. I'm just no.
Random lesbian scene. Can you pass me that dildo? Yeah, here you go. That's a wrench. Okay. Just go with it. No.
And I'm just, the cock monster doesn't really bother me. You know what I mean? I don't put up with this shit.
Just kind of walks up and looks at you. We're good. And I'll punch you in the eye. The one good eye you've got.
I'm the actual.
Fuck you! Don't spit at me.
I'm the savior of at the end. You know what I mean? Finally, they're how have you not been affected by this the whole time? And
They get him trapped in the airlock. Just you flush him.
That I come up with some nice little quip, some porn star quip.
I've got none off the top of my head.
Yeah, sending someone out in an airlock.
Sending somebody else out in an airlock. It's a cock monster. We're trying to think going off the top of our heads.
Say something stupid.
Flush that cock. No.
We'll call that one hell of a douche, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm just going to go over here. You know what I mean? I'm not relevant to the story at all. I just get to see boobs the whole time, you know what I mean?
He's got the pizza guy. He wanted to flush the guy, but you just got there first, and he's just looking at you slack-jawed. It's hey, you got late. I got to do this. Get the fuck out of here.
He's the hero, and I come over at the last minute just Jesus.
Sounds good.
All right.
That's pretty much it. We got 3 porn stars that we never cast the pizza guy. Pizza guy's just nondescript. He's new.
Yeah. He's new to the porn industry.
So, and we could of course throw a bunch of other ones in there, but
two sisters
feel like
that are lab technicians. There's me. That's maintenance. I really do everything. They're just there. Their dad's the.
And these are supposed to be 2 sisters who are obsessed with death. So I'm thinking maybe like there's some mass die-off that forces them to go to this underground lab, like mass die-off in the sea. And they're trying to figure out why all these ocean animals are dying, but really they don't care that they're dying. They just care that they're dead.
Yeah.
Wow, look at all these dead animals. Want to gut one? Yeah, you know. It's part horror at the same time.
Yeah, as minimal horror though. You know what I mean? Like they fall all the time. Like it's just
no. Make it like maximum horror. So it's like really uncomfortable for anyone that watches this particular porn to try. It's like I know I've got a hard on right now, but I'm not sure that I should.
Why is there a room full of dicks hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah, just make it one of those things. It's just really uncomfortable for you to be excited right now. Test the limits of some people's moral standards.
Why am I hard now? I don't know.
Is she jacking off the severed phallus? What the fuck is this? What am I watching?
Right, there's a dead dolphin in there. And did you know that dolphins are the only mammals that commit rape on humans?
What?
Dolphins commit rape all the time on humans. Swimming with the dolphins is no longer fun.
No.
If you know that statistic.
I'm not going to go swim. I've never been swimming with a dolphin. Don't think I'll ever be in a position to. And if somehow, at some point, I ever get the chance to swim with a dolphin, fuck that before they fuck me.
Yeah, you might get raped. It's real. Look, Google it. Google it after, and you're going to be like, oh, shit.
This is just some things that I want to... I'm not Googling. I'm not Googling.
You're not going to Google images.
Google images. I don't feel like Googling dolphin rape.
I'll Google it. I don't care.
Not really Googling porn stars. Yeah, it's a new computer. I'd like to keep it virus-free.
That's why you do it on your phone.
Unlike myself, I could care less if I'm virus-free.
You see, dolphin rape.
Okay, we're looking up dolphin rape right now, if you haven't been able to tell. I don't know why we're looking up dolphin rape. Tell me the death from Bill and Ted right there. From the Bill and Ted, the second movie, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, doesn't look a little bit like Voldemort with a nose.
You gotta turn it.
I gotta turn it? It looks like Voldemort with a nose. Like if Voldemort's nose hadn't fallen off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. You were saying... We're talking about dolphin rape now.
Dolphins are rapists. There's like 10 dolphin rapes a year.
Like of all the creatures on the face of the planet, I would have thought kangaroos well before dolphins.
No, kangaroos just beat your ass. Kangaroos are the mobsters of it. Mobsters don't necessarily rape. You know what I mean? Dolphins are just rapists.
So the kangaroos are the ones that are going to kick your ass and throw you to the dolphins.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
I'm going to kick your ass, dolphin's going to fuck you in the ass.
Like, no thank you. Like, and the thing is you can't stop them. They'll go on like a friggin' hump frenzy. It's ridiculous. Like the trainers will be like, no, just let them do it. You know.
I feel like you've watched videos before.
I've been down the internet paths a few times. Not the dark web.
I'm beginning to see why you don't have a completely functional computer right now.
Yeah, I refuse to get a computer.
Probably a good thing.
I'll have to destroy it. It's so much
easier. Based off of what would probably be on your internet history.
So much easier to destroy a cell phone.
You could have like burner laptops for you know. Well, that one has too many viruses. Next. All right. So speaking of next, we're gonna go to the next pitch storm.
On to the next one. So this one is a fraternity on a weekend retreat deep in the woods.
Okay.
Tries to marry their true love against their parents' wishes. And
wouldn't that have been so much better as try to marry their true love against their wishes? Now we got a horror movie.
Yeah, no, it could still be a horror movie. The parents are the people. But honestly, I think it's too funny. Can we try a more serious take? So we have to make this as serious as possible.
So this has to be a drama. A fraternity... What is that again? Fraternity doing what now?
In a cabin in the woods.
Or they're in a cabin in the woods. And...
they are trying to marry their true loves.
So, one person. We can't have the entire fraternity trying to marry their true loves. That would be weird, like all at the same time.
Well, that's the thing.
Like a mass college marrying, like fraternity, sorority, and we're all going to get married.
Weirder things have happened. You heard about the school district where all the girls made a pact to get pregnant by the end of the semester.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Why can't the college kids make a pact to get married by the end of their semester?
I'm going to go deeply, darkly serious here. So it's going to be against their parents' wishes. So I'm imagining that we've got a bunch of fraternity guys that invite a bunch of sorority girls up to this cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
And I want to say the main ploy, the main thing here is they're planning on getting married to these girls. Yeah. Okay? Because they need to get married to them before they can sacrifice them to this demon that they've been praying to for their wealth and riches.
Which is kind of anticlimactic because their parents don't want them to get married or they'll cut them out of their will.
Right. It's like, well, let's see. We're either going to get cut out of the will here, or if we don't pray to this demon, we won't get any money either. So, which one do we do? Do we kill our freshly married women, or do we listen to our parents and don't get married so that we can continue to live underneath our parents? I say marry them.
Yeah,
we need to be independently wealthy. Now, obviously, we're in the Me Too era, so these girls are not going to be pushovers.
Right.
All right. There's going to be a bloody fucking fight.
There's one priest that's just there against his will.
Oh no priests. One of the fraternity guys, one of the ones that can't find anybody. That guy is the ordained minister. He went on the Life Church on that lifechurch.com place, got ordained as a minister. He's going to marry the fucking lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm marrying all of you.
He's the one who doesn't want to sacrifice to the demons. He's like the only level-headed one, but he's like, but he doesn't. But
level-headed, but seriously drunk.
Yeah, like he still wants to be a part of the fraternity. You know what I mean? That's a brotherhood. Right. You know what I mean? He's like, no, but like I can't do that. So like, fuck it, I'll become the ordained minister. And you know what I mean? Like he only agrees to it when he's drunk. So they have to keep him piss drunk the entire time.
Like, the whole deal is that they can only commit this act of sacrifice after the consummation of the marriage.
Yeah.
So this is how the whole deal is supposed to go. It's supposed to be sort of like a Black Widow kind of thing. And so these guys convince these girls to come up there, and then they're throwing this idea about getting married around, and it all feels like a joke, and this guy they think this is pretend. They don't realize this is fucking real.
Let's have a pretend marriage. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Ha! You know?
Right. And
like, the guy who plays the priest, you would never suspect him to be a priest. You know what I mean? Like, so they definitely think it's all a joke. It's like, yeah, Johnny over there, he's gonna marry us. And they're like, Johnny? And he's like, yeah, Johnny. Little do they know that he actually has.
They're like, he's like the party guy. He's like, all these other guys are kind of like, it can be snobby, a couple of pricks here and there, but this is like the heavy partier.
Yeah, like,
the one that's always got something on him. He's always drinking.
Always drinking, always doing cocaine, always like popping mollies and sweating all the time.
Pounds back a beer, does a line, and then goes, whoa, let's get married! You know.
But the thing is like sober him. I like the dual personality type traits. Like sober him is just like super respectful and great. One beer him is just
right as he sobers up. It's just all that like moral bullshit starts to wash over him. Like, all these people are going to be dead by the morning, you know.
And he starts talking to one of the people, and they're just like, yeah, no, that's fine. And they start feeding him drugs.
Oh, we could make this really, really disturbing and dark and make it sort of like a Countess Bathory kind of thing. You ever know who Countess Bathory is?
No.
So Countess Bathory used to bathe in the blood of virgins.
Okay.
Right? What they do is they'd like string up some virgin by their ankles, and she'd slit their throat, and then she would bathe in the blood underneath them. I feel this is the appropriate sacrifice for this particular movie. Like, really deep, really dark stuff.
Yeah.
However, I feel like only one person is going to get killed in this movie. And the rest of them are just going to fight like fucking hell.
Yeah.
Alright, one girl gets killed, rest of the guys end up getting killed. Because once they realize what the fuck's going on, all fucking hell breaks loose.
Well, I think a couple of them could, like, the wiser of them. They can't all be smart, but the wiser of them make it. You know what I mean? So, like,
I feel like there's a couple of double kills. Like, there's like a knife fight between two of them, and they both end up stabbing each other in the gut at the same time.
But they're like, where's this person? They're like, oh, they went on their honeymoon. You know what I mean? Like, they send them off on their honeymoon, and like the smarter other girls are like, no, like, she didn't actually marry him. She didn't like him, you know what I mean? And the dumber ones are just like, oh my god, haha! Like, I want my turn. I want my vacation, like. Like, they went on Johnny's yacht.
Like, I feel like I have this one scene that's like on a second floor balcony. The two people that stab each other in the gut. And she stabs him in the gut, he stabs her in the gut, and she leans in close, kisses him, and then kicks him off the balcony. And then she lays over the balcony and just kind of bleeds out laughing as he hits the ground.
And that's when, that whole balcony scene is when they realize what's going on.
Right.
I think that the sole survivor for the male should be the ordained minister.
Right. I think like halfway through he realizes what he's done and he starts trying to save people. So.
Like, you guys gotta get out of here. Girls, you gotta go. They're like, shut up, have a drink. And he's like, no!
He ends up with a gun halfway through and he's helping the girls out. And then we got one last girl and one last guy. And the last guy is the ordained minister. And she starts coming at him like, you fucking did this. You fucking married us, you know. And she comes at him with a fucking like knife or like a, I don't know, something. Maybe she finds a fucking battle axe hanging on the wall. I don't know. Just something extreme.
But he
ends up having to shoot her. Like, everybody but him ends up dead.
Yeah. And then he drinks one more. Like, he grabs a beer that's next to him. Like, while he's saving everybody and trying to save everybody, he's trying to get sober.
No, I say
once he has to blow the head off the last chick, he's just like...
I say we get real serious at this point. So we got this Bible of this fraternity goes by constantly. So he's having moral quandaries this entire time. This girl tried to kill him at the end. He shoots her. So he has this moral quandary, right? So he sits there, and the end of the movie, I feel, is like this. He goes into the kitchen, blows out the pilot lights on the stove, turns on the gas. He picks up the Bible that he has been reading for marrying these people, walks out the front door, lights a cigarette, which he then uses to light a candle that he's also taken with him, throws the candle into the building, blows the whole fucking thing to hell, and then just walks out of there with the Bible under his arm.
And when the police show up, they get that the place exploded. You know what I mean? Like, oh, a bunch of fraternity guys and sorority girls all were partying up here. They must have got drunk. There was a gas leak and they exploded.
Right. Cops pull up with the place burning down. There's fire engines, and he's just sitting on the back of an ambulance, like singed a little bit. He's got the Bible in his hand, and nobody's the wiser. He's like not even talking.
Except for, like, one of the guys graduated from the fraternity years ago. Like, he's the head detective. You know what I mean?
Head detective takes the Bible from him, walks off.
You shouldn't be here.
I think this is one of the first pitch fests that we just went through the idea of it. We didn't really cast anybody.
Yeah, we could no-name this one. We could Troma film this one.
We could Troma film the hell out of this one. Hey, Troma, do you want this one? Take it, film it.
Don't take it.
No, I mean, give us credit.
Yes.
Give us credit, but take it and film it.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking. You can take it. You can take any one of our ideas. Everything from this to Myrtle Leeches. Make the movie. Just give us credit for coming up with the idea. That's all I ask.
Yeah, we'll have, what can we call this one, though? We need to give it a name.
Huh?
Excuse me, I apologize. We need to give this a name.
There Goes the Bride.
There Goes the Bride.
No? Is that a bad one?
No, not a bad one.
Not a bad. It's not the best. Well, I mean, we're putting this up against Surf Nazis Must Die and Rabid Grannies. There Goes the Bride actually sounds all right.
All right. Me Too. We can call it Me Too.
Me Too. Nah, that's a little too on point. You don't want to name it after that. That would get a whole lot of fucking backlash. Yeah, well, actually, that might be the point.
But you know, like the first couple of them, the dumb girls.
Or how about
that are
I
just
Do
apt
Me
to
Too?
do this. I Do Me Too. Yeah, I like that. But like the first couple of the dumb girls that like get killed off. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my god, me too. Like, oh my god, and like you change the meaning to like, no, like we're strong, independent women.
It's like only a handful of them that were strong, independent women that lasted. Most of the guys, they kill off the guys. The one guy they didn't kill off is the one that they didn't really...
He's just
sitting there, just watching this whole thing go down. Kind of like you in that other movie. I'm going to be the last guy standing, but, you guys keep fucking doing what you're doing around me. I'm good. I'm going to go get a drink.
Yeah, he's just, can't do any wrong when he drinks. You know what I mean? He can, but, if he, gets into a fight, he's, the drunken fist master. If he needs to, give a speech, he gives, the most epic, drunk speech ever, but it's,
kind of what's his name? Bluto from Animal House. He always seemed to be 3 sheets to the wind, but he could come up with some epic speeches. James Belushi. John Belushi, not James. John
Belushi.
John Belushi.
John Belushi.
We're like, John Belushi? John Belushi. John? Yes, John.
Yeah, so, he's just, he can just... That drunk guy you want at the party all the time, you know what I mean? Because he just does something epic every time. It's this guy.
This movie has to be like an Animal House meets Saw kind of thing,
Yeah.
Just real fucked up.
Yeah.
But I think that this could definitely be one of the better, gorier movies from Troma. They have some pretty serious, gory movies. I haven't really gotten you guys into their horror films yet. Most of the stuff we watched has kind of been half horror, half comedic.
Yeah. Or porn.
Well, all of the Troma movies seem to have the TNA, that one scene.
Yeah.
Some of them have a little bit more than that. There's a few movies that I won't go near with you guys just because of the fact that they're essentially all TNA films.
Well, we can watch those, just not in the same room again.
Right. It's I'll watch it on this TV and you watch it on that TV, and then we'll come together at the end and go, yeah, we're not even talking about this. Let's go. I'm not talking about that at all. Which is what we should have done with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, we just swept that one under the rug.
We had to talk about it. It's I had really...
We still talk about it. I have PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah, that would be post-traumatic Romeo and Juliet syndrome. What would that be? Post-traumatic PT... That would be PTTJD. Or PTTJS.
Either way, I'm stuttering and...
I can't do it, see?
See? You know what I mean?
But, alright, so we'll leave off the podcast. I'm going to just do a quick discussion here. We don't get together as much as we used to. So what kind of shit have you been watching lately?
We've been watching a few good movies. Not bad movies, but I ended up watching The Professor, which is a Johnny Depp movie. That one was really good. I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
It's about Johnny Depp plays a college professor who finds out that he has stage 4 cancer, lung cancer, and even if he takes chemo, it'll be about a year. If he doesn't, it'll be 6 months.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So no matter what, he is going to die. It's already spread into his spine and his adrenal glands and everything, So he goes to go tell his wife and his daughter, sits down for dinner, and he's like, I have something to tell you guys. And his daughter's like, oh, well, I do too. I started dating this girl. And the mother's like, oh, that's a phase or whatever, kind of pushing it off, which gets the little girl mad. Well, the little girl, she's in her teens.
Okay.
But she ends up just storming off. And then, he looks at the wife and, he starts laughing a little bit, and she's like, yeah, blah, 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 and, I want to tell you, too, I've been having an affair, which begets him to laugh even more, and she's like, yeah, what's so funny? He goes, who you having an affair with? And then she says, the guy, and he's like, my boss? You know what I mean? And, he just laughs, and she goes, by the way, what did you want to say? And he goes, oh, I overcooked the steaks. Just plays it off. So he decides he'll tell his best friend, but that's it. He's not going to tell anybody else that he has cancer.
Okay.
So the next day he goes into school. This girl's cell phone rings, and he's like, go ahead, pick it up. It's fine, pick it up. You know what I mean? She picks up the phone. She's like, yeah, I am in class, blah, 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 I got to go. And he was like, all right, and then he starts naming off things. He's like, if you are wearing sweatpants, get out. You get a C for the year. If you do this, if you do that, if you are a C student, get out. You automatically get a C. You know what I mean? Eliminates that. And he's like, if you think that you're going to get a B in this class, and this is after all the C people left, he goes, you get a C. Bye. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. So everybody leaves. And there's one girl who's sitting there, And she's like, he's like, what are you doing here? She goes, oh, I'm just sick. That's why I'm in sweatpants. He goes, get up. You know what I mean? Keeps like 5 or 6 students that he is now just teaching them about life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's kind of set up like in different acts, which is pretty good. But yeah, so like essentially though, like one of his students, they go to the bar. They're having drinks and everything like that. He starts flirting with the waitress, and then he fucks the waitress in the bathroom. And, you know, one of the students is like, he just picked up a waitress and fucked her in the bathroom in a matter of minutes. You know what I mean? And this one student's like, yeah, 2 consenting adults. They can do whatever they want. The next day he goes in, he's like, you want to buy some weed for me? And he's like, yeah, sure. You know, you know what I mean? And he's like,
why not?
Do you want to have sex with me? And he's like, yeah. Well, he's kind of like iffy about it. He goes, well, how about I give you a blowjob? And he's just like, yeah, of course. You know what I mean? So, like, he goes for a gay experience right there. You know what I mean? Like, he just does whatever he wants, you know? Smoking pot out. They have class outside. He's smoking weed and, like, just on school grounds with all the kids and stuff. But teaches them that morally, like, tomorrow could be your last day. Make sure you live life to the fullest, your whole 9, and kind of, like, sets them up. He's like, you guys are the future.
Which is kind of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's like, everybody, a little bit better.
Well, they're doing a little, yeah, that's a little bit better. But
yeah, but, you know, essentially with that, he, you know, his, like, last speech that he gives them, though, it's like, I chose you guys. You know what I mean? Like, you saw how many kids were in the class. You saw how many people I kicked out. I saw you guys as being the people who are going to lead the next generation. You know what I mean? Don't be those people. Do you. Don't hesitate to do this. Don't hesitate to do that. You know what I mean? Ends up finding peace with his wife and all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, good movie. I recommend it.
Okay.
I left out a lot. But like,
yeah, I'm sure you did. I mean, yeah, I'm interested in seeing the movie. And, of course, your one movie that you viewed makes all the other movies that I viewed look like fucking roadkill. I watched some serious trash. You know this about me.
Yeah. I've watched some bad movies, but that one is just one that rings true.
Most prominent trash in my mind right now. I just recently finished watching, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Saturday the 14th, which is, I want to say, an old Jeffrey Tambor movie. Premise is this couple inherits an old decrepit house from a nondescript relative, and it harbors the Book of Evil. That's exactly what it's fucking called in this movie. And it's a comedic movie all the way through. It's supposed to be a comedic movie, basically. And the family ends up getting helped out by a descendant of Van Helsing, who's like, I don't know, like an exterminator at this point, this descendant. And Jeffrey Tambor plays like a descendant of Dracula.
Who's trying to get the Book of Evil.
Who's trying to get the Book of Evil. At least you think this in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And you're seeing different monsters that just kind of pop up here and there, like a wolfman and like the creature from the Black Lagoon and some weird fucking alien that I don't know what the hell that thing was. But just all over the movie, you're seeing different creatures that are kind of descending on this house because the whole premise is whoever gets the Book of Evil controls the world.
Yeah.
So this family having the Book of Evil, all these other creatures are trying to get it from themselves, and you think that Dracula is trying to do the same thing. Turns out he's not. He's actually trying to save the family, and Van Helsing's the one that's trying to get the Book of Evil to release all the monsters on the world.
So that he could become Van Helsing again?
I guess. I don't know. I guess Van Helsing wanted to control the world. But it was a fucked up movie. It was really dumb. And there was one scene in particular that I think is only acceptable in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s movies. Because they always... I noticed the more that I'm watching this stuff, the more you have like late teen, 20-something-year-old girls depicting girls who are supposed to be underage.
Yeah.
And they end up in predicaments where they're either naked, partially naked, completely naked. And this movie was no different. This girl was supposed to be like 15, I think, in the movie or something. She was supposed to be the teenage daughter, and albeit it was an important kind of funny part of the movie, she gets in the tub and the creature from the Black Lagoon's fin on the top of his head is just popping up in different places in the tub. And, yeah.
Naked!
She hops out of the tub, and is apparently, this is what got me. She got in the tub, and when she hopped out of the tub, she had underwear on.
Maybe she had a super reflex of it.
Well, she's got a little brother, too. Maybe she was like, yeah, I'm just going to leave these on, because what happens if my brother walks in here? Now, fine to see the tits, but the ass, you're going to have something covering that.
Gotta cover the front bump.
There was a lot of movies back then that were like depicting underage girls that were played by older women that just...
Yeah. I mean, like, even anime nowadays, if it involves, like, the younger generation, they're not allowed to put any type of...
Big Mouth actually did.
Well, Big Mouth is...
Yeah, that was something very, very different, but... You know, it's you don't see that kind of stuff. It's actually very taboo, against what you're supposed to be doing, and... Now that I've got two, teenage...
You understand.
Yeah, I understand the whole thing.
Well, one's teenage, the other one's 20 now.
Well, yeah, I know, she's
They're growing
gonna be
up.
21 soon. They're growing up too fucking fast.
Yeah, well, we'll all go out for drinks.
But, yeah, so I that's one of the movies that just kind of stuck out in my head. And I know I've watched plenty of other ones, and I actually been reviewing a few things here and there, but...
And I've just really been sticking with TV shows, really.
I finished watching Good Omens.
Yeah, how was it?
That was not a bad flick. Definitely better on paper. It was a no, I say bad flick. It was not a bad TV series for Amazon. Like I said, definitely better on paper. I appreciated the book. It was definitely Terry Pratchett's one of my favorite authors. He's like, I don't know if you know who Douglas Adams is. The guy that wrote the Hitchhikers of the Hitchhikers of the Galaxy books. Same kind of like fantastically black British humor. Yeah. And I love that kind of humor. And Terry Pratchett is what Douglas Adams was, but to a much further extent. And you don't get to see a lot of his work, mainly because of the fact that if you've ever read it, it is so hard to think about how you would translate that kind of thing to a movie. But I think that it lends to like an animated kind of film. Yeah. I really think that they could animate some of his stuff if somebody just grabbed his works and just did it.
Even with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they didn't think they'd be able to make that a movie.
No, and they didn't.
They did their best. There is a movie called The Hitchhiker's Guide.
There is a movie called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There's also a British miniseries, which was by far much better. Yeah. Much better.
I'll have to check that out, just because they can fit, more of what's supposed to be in the book there. Which is why I want Netflix to do a Harry Potter series.
You think that they should?
Yeah.
Like just an extended Harry Potter?
Each chapter pretty much be...
one season.
Yeah, no. Each chapter be one episode. But have like hour-long episodes.
I think that you could do it... Because you're doing it by years. That's literally what it is.
Each book.
Each book is supposed to be a year.
Each book is one season.
So I think each book should be one season, yeah.
Yeah, but each chapter be one episode.
Okay. I thought you said each book be one episode.
No, each chapter be one episode, and then you can make it to the 6, 7, whatever.
But I think that if they're gonna do it, they should pull no punches.
Yeah, every little detail that was in the book should be in each episode.
That's kind of how I feel about like a lot of Stephen King's stuff. Like I feel like movies do not do Stephen King's books justice. That's kind of why if you get a chance to sit down and watch Castle Rock.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you got to. It's a Hulu series. You have Hulu?
No, I don't.
Well, maybe you got to come over here and watch it with me. But we can sit down and watch Castle Rock. Like this season right now, a lot of it's revolving around Misery.
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen Misery.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Stephen King's works. Like one of my favorites is Dreamcatcher and Storm of the Century.
Wow, okay, Dreamcatcher is like most people's least favorite.
I love that one.
I have one that's actually my least favorite now. That is not the one anymore.
Yeah, I watched that one when I was a kid, though. So, like, you know, I kind of saw it from the eyes of a child, being one of the kids. You know what I mean?
By far, my least favorite Stephen King movie is, I think it's called The Cell.
I don't think I've seen that one.
The premise of the movie is that one day, everybody's cell phones ring. Everybody in the entire world at the same time, their cell phones ring, and anybody that picked up that phone was fed a signal that immediately turns them into mindless zombies, going around and slaughtering humanity. And like during the day, I believe the zombies roam the planet, but at night they all hover around like cell towers, and they just run in circles around cell towers. And honestly, I went to watch this movie knowing that Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack were like the main stars in the film, and I was like, "Oh, this teaming that sounds really like a really good idea." And then I watched it, and it's like I read the book.
Did he say "motherfucker"?
I think he did.
Yeah.
It's like he says it in every damn movie he's in. I think that's like in his clause, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger with "I'll be back," you know. But I read the book, and I never recommend reading the book to a movie before seeing the movie, because you're just going to be fucking disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think having read that book first, and then seeing the film adaptation to it, I was just like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah.
They had like a made-for-TV miniseries for Desperation, which had I not read the book first, Desperation was a fantastic movie. I believe it was Desperation, and I think the second movie was second book was The Regulators.
Yeah.
I think he was using those two books to kill off his old pseudonym, Richard Bachman. He brought Richard Bachman back for one more shot for a book. And if you read those two books side by side, the characters mirror each other.
Oh.
So it's like having two sets of characters, both the exact same characters, but in different situations.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I'd like if they remade it. Storm of the Century.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good miniseries for what it was.
But I felt like it could have been better.
I think with today's special effects, a lot of Stephen King's stuff could have been a lot better.
Yeah, he's just ahead of his time.
Langoliers was one of my favorite films. They're redoing The Stand.
They're redoing a lot of his stuff. That's
Oh, yeah.
why I think they should.
I think if they're going to redo The Stand is good enough to make an entire series out of. Just like, I don't know why they didn't continue with, like, The Mist. They did one season for The Mist and then just decided, we're good. No, make more. Have you seen Under the Dome?
Sounds familiar, but I don't.
It's another. If you don't have Prime either, though, I gotta keep in mind you don't have access to a lot of the things I have access to.
I used to.
You used to? What happened?
They shut down Showbox.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, time to pay for things now.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Butt pirates.
No. Pirating videos.
Yeah, please. I don't know what to say to that. You're outing yourself as a person who pirates movies. TV shows, I guess, actually, primarily.
Mainly.
Well, you're not pirating them. You're just watching them where they've been pirated.
Right. I'm stealing stolen goods.
Just... What is that? What is stealing stolen goods?
Robin
larceny
Hood,
of petty larceny?
I'm Robin Hood. That's it.
You steal from the rich. You steal from the rich and give to yourself?
Yeah, me and my 15 personalities, we're needy.
15 personalities?
Yeah.
You like split up in there.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know.
They're all pretty much the same guy, just a little tweak. Right. Sloppy drunk Seth. He's got wrapped arms, one eye's bigger than the other. He rocks back and forth. He can't talk very straight. And then there's
Well, you got pleasantly drunk. I've seen pleasantly drunk Seth dancing over at the.
Yeah, I'm a good time.
Yep.
That's Seth.
I don't dance. I never dance.
I always dance.
I have absolutely no ability to dance whatsoever. I tucked that away shortly after I got married. I'm done.
I'm not a great dancer. I just dance.
People ask, you want to go out dancing? Fuck no. I'll stay home. Thank you.
It was slow the other day at work, so I slow danced with one of my coworkers. It was just for fun.
At the restaurant?
Yeah. There was like nobody in there. We played music over the top. I was like, all right.
Well, I guess if you're having fun. It seems to be packed all the time over there.
It hasn't been recently.
No?
Nope, just because of the weather. And Christmas and all that stuff.
The weather keeps people home?
Yeah, if it's friggin'...
I think for me, the weather, if it's like that out, I'd rather go out and get something to eat than cook in. I'll go drive in it. It's only up the street.
Yeah, you will. A few people do.
I don't go to the 99.
You should.
I don't.
You should. Just
After I had a bad experience, I won't go back.
What happened?
One of their waitresses tackled me.
Why?
Why?
You can't just give a half an explanation.
Give half an explanation. I put the tip on the table, and I'm not. This is why I hand my tip to the waitresses now, because I put a tip on the table, and I'm not in the habit of just leaving it out in the open. Because I've had people like literally steal tips off my table. I put a tip down, somebody walks by, pockets it. So I like put it under a cup or like under the edge of a plate or whatever, and if she had taken 2 seconds to look at the table, she would have seen the tip. Well, I guess this waitress did not see the tip, and I'm halfway out the door before this woman comes up behind me, grabs me, and turns me around forcibly and starts yelling at me about how hard she worked. I'll give her that. How hard she worked, she made sure she was very attentive, and she was. And up until the point that she flipped me around, she had earned her tip.
Yeah.
And so I looked at her, and she's yelling at me. Her manager walks up. Is there something wrong here? And I go, yeah, actually, I think there is something wrong here. And so I said, would you mind coming with me for a minute? And I walked back to the table, and I showed them for what I purchased for me and my wife to eat. We paid a little over $30. Mm-hmm. I left a $15 tip, almost a 50% tip on the table. Mm-hmm. I picked up the $15 tip, and I showed her the tip. I left it on the table right under that cup there. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you had taken 2 seconds to look at the table, you would have seen it. It wasn't completely obscured. It wasn't under all the plates where you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So I just don't leave it out in the open with the check. I never have.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're the only person that I've ever had that did not look for it. And so I looked at her boss is sitting there apologizing up and down for her attitude, and she's yelling at me for fucking putting it where I put it, and I tucked that right in my pocket, and he's trying to give me and I didn't give her tip.
Of course not.
No,
I wouldn't
put the $15 in my pocket, and he's trying to give me a free meal, and it's like, I don't ever plan on coming back to your establishment.
It's a new GM, too.
That being said, this particular 99 I might go to.
Oh, so it wasn't this one.
It wasn't this one.
Okay.
This was the one up in Salem.
Okay.
I will not go back there.
And not for nothing, I've been stiffed on tips before. You know what I mean? What I do is like I give the thing, I give the check to him. You know what I mean? I run it, do whatever. I won't even look at it until I'm done clearing the table, because like he put it in the book, like the whole 9. I won't even look at it unless you physically pass it to me first. I don't care. You know what I mean? Then when I'm done clearing the table, I take it, I open it, and I see what's done. Because, like, there was one lady that I had. She stiffed me on a tip. Not my fault in any way, shape, or form. I'd admit if I was a terrible server.
Some people are just cheap.
I go. I'm very attentive. I ended up going up to the table. I'm like, "How is everything?" She's like, "Oh, everything's great." A few minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, do you need another drink?" Blah blah blah. I came to your table a few times. The end of the check comes around. And I'm like, can I get you anything else? She's like, no, just the check. I was like, would you like a box for your steak tip? She goes, no, they were undercooked. Okay. I was like, would you like me to grab my manager? Maybe I could have gotten take it off. She goes, no, it's fine. No big deal.
No big deal?
No tip. Like, it was my fault. You know what I mean?
Tip, yeah.
How many times did I come to your table? Not one of those times did you say... Yeah, something like, hey...
the food was undercooked. Do you mind taking this back and having them redo this,
Yeah, or like, I don't want to pay for it. Nothing like that. Like I said, I would have brought it to my manager.
Most waiters, waitresses, if you tell them that's not cooked the right way, they'll take it back. Right, as long as you're not an ass about it.
Right, it's not my fault. And even if you are an ass about it, I got you. You know what I mean? But no, like, you know, they're just people who suck. But even if you don't, that lady didn't tip me, I know I cleared the table quick. She didn't make a big mess. But, like, she was still, like, in the restaurant when I realized she didn't tip me. Did I go running over to her like, hey, lady? You know what I mean? I just cut it as a loss.
No. And that's what you're supposed to do. You cut it as a loss, you move on.
I talk shit. You know what I mean? Like, to my coworkers. Like, yeah, what a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's just bound to happen. But, you know, no. Like, yeah, we make our money off the tips, but, like...
So, nothing... I don't want to make it sound like I'm bad-mouthing the 99. Nothing against the 99, that fucking waitress was a bitch. And honestly, that was like 20 years ago. Yeah. So I could have just said... I could have gotten over it by now and gone back there. I'm just doing it because I'm an ass at this point.
Well, so when I was working at the
there.
place in the Swampscott, you know, high-end seafood restaurant, there was a lot of foreigners that came in there. You know, like from Greece and like you know France, like all sorts of friggin' foreigners. And one time they tipped 10% to like one of the waitresses, and she went up to them like, "Hey, you didn't tip me enough." And
what?
like, yeah, like the manager even went up and was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to tip like 20%, blah 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 blah." If that were the case, add the gratuity to every single check.
Right.
You know what I mean? The manager's talking to him like, yeah, you're supposed to tip 20%. Like, did they do something wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Then you should tip them more. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, take what they gave you. I understand it sucks that you had to work a 10 top, but you did it with two different people. And I understand it sucks that you have to split that. But you should never go up to somebody and say, you didn't tip me enough.
No.
Yeah, like, I was like, no.
I mean, I get it. You're a waiter, waitress. The base pay sucks.
Yeah.
Because you're dependent upon your tips to survive there. They're assuming that your tips are going to make up for what you're not getting in an actual base wage.
Yeah.
I really think that your base wage should be a bit higher.
Yeah, it should be, you know, but at the end of the day, it's not.
I think that if your base wage is a little bit higher, then most people aren't going to fight about the tips as much.
Right. Well... That's another thing. Like over in if you do go to France, if you go to like other places overseas, they get paid like $18 to $20 an hour
to wait tables.
If
right.
you get tipped, that means that you went above and beyond. You know what I mean? So down here, they may not know that you make $4.35.
Right. Well, so that's our little tip on tipping.
Tip on tipping: 20%, 15% if they're okay. Never not tip if the food was bad. That has nothing to do with us. And your kids aren't fucking artists, okay? Stop having them fucking draw on these stupid fucking pieces of paper and spill all their food all over the fucking place, okay? Nobody wants to pick up after your fucking kid. Sorry.
Wow. That was... That got dark real quick. Okay.
No, like their parents, like...
So tip your waiter and don't fucking let your kids draw, apparently.
No, the drawing's fine, but don't let your fucking kid run around the restaurant. One final story on the restaurant.
Okay, go ahead.
So, there's this, like, 2-year-old, right? And I'm like, oh, would you like a high chair? They go, no, she hates the high chair. We're just going to let her run around.
What? No.
Okay. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, we're going to let the kid, like on the booth or whatever. A few minutes later, there's a kid fucking running, like, around the, like, they're over here in this corner. The kid's running to the opposite side of the fucking thing, running, like, back, you know what I mean? I'm like, God forbid somebody steals your child because you aren't anywhere near. You're not even following the kid around the restaurant.
God
just
forbid that kid runs through some waiter that's coming by with food on a tray.
Yeah, you know, like anything. Like
hot plate on child.
There are drinkers. Like there's a big bar area there. You know what I mean? People come in, they drink all day long. They fucking stumble over, fall on your kid, dead kid. You know what I mean? Oh no, it's fine. You want your kid to run around? Go to Chuck E. Cheese.
There you go. You can sit at your little table and eat the cardboard that they call pizza. And,
I like their pizza.
And let your kid run. I don't like their pizza.
I go to kids' birthday parties specifically for Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
I feel like Chuck E. Cheese pizza looks like it's been cobbled together from pizzas from other places.
Yeah, sometimes, like, I've seen, like, I'm like, guys, this isn't even a full fucking pizza. Like, this slice was on a different fucking pizza.
You can tell it was
fucking
kind of
pizza.
bitten piece together. What the hell is this?
Like, they didn't finish, one table didn't finish a tray, so they fucking reheated it and put it with another one. Like, no! I want my real pizza!
I will sit here and watch you make the fucking pizza.
I will still eat this, but I want a brand new one, too.
No, you leave that there. I'm going to eat this. You bring me a new one.
Yeah, but I want a new one, because I see what you did there.
I see dead pizza. All right. I think that's enough for today. I think we're going to go ahead and tie this up, and we're going to go back to our respective corners until next time.
Until next time, I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go eat McDonald's.
Same that time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I hope you're loving this.
I'm loving tits. Okay. Who doesn't?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure even gays like tits.
In some cases.
No, like I've never, not once. I mean, maybe once. I don't know, but a gay man that won't play with titties. They might not be turned on by them, but they'll still play with titties. All right.
I think they're more intrigued.
Yeah, that doesn't mean they still like them.
There's some scary parts, but it's for the most part they're intrigued.
Like,
we're not doing wax on, wax off here, Miyagi.
well,
What are you
I don't
doing?
know. They don't know.
I'm not blind. He's not like, I can feel the contour of this one. There's a bit of a crev. Oh, nope, you got a bump. You got to go check that.
I will say, though, as a man, one final note. As a man, I can even, like, any part of my body can touch a boob, and I know it's a boob.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, if I'm like,
Now,
and I accidentally elbow a tit, I know I just touched a tit, even if it's, like, the slightest touch.
I accidentally elbowed somebody today. I thought it was a tit. It was just a shoulder.
See, you're weak.
No?
Your senses are weak. The force is not strong with you.
Well, I've been married for quite a long time, man. I'm just saying.
That was a boob!
I've been out of the touch by elbow phase here for a while.
You know?
So, mind you, you got to understand. I'll give you a very quick. We're doing quick stories here and there. Just, I've been out of the game since almost the moment I got married. Mainly because, like, I don't know what it was about getting married, but, like, I'm oblivious to the advances of other women, like, completely oblivious. Like, my wife points things out, and, like, because women can be subtle, very subtle. And I'm not as pretty a guy now as I was back then. But my wife would constantly point out, you need to stay away from that girl, she's hitting on you. And it's like, you know, we were young at the time, so it was I thought she was just being jealous. And then, you know, a week or so later, so it goes from being subtle to something very, very obvious. It's like, well, I don't need a radar to see this one anymore. Somebody's smacking me in the face with it.
Yeah.
You know? It's not a faint scent of something. Somebody just smacked me in the face with the mackerel. Like, hey, come here, you know. Oh, you'll understand the fish joke. You weren't here for that one. Well, you weren't here. You weren't
like
here.
Fish is the dish cologne. Leave it alone.
Oh, were you there?
That was me.
That was you. Oh, fuck! I forgot you were here.
Yeah.
Wow, you gotta come around more often so that I can't accuse you of that. You weren't here. Yes, I was.
I get the midweek. I get the midweek buffers.
But no, I just it was like a couple of girls in particular. Just I was not paying attention at all, and then like all of a sudden, just one day, comes right out and just blatantly hits on me, and I'm like, God damn it! I hate when she's right. Because it's like, you know, with me, it's always like, she says, I'm right. And I'm like, nah. And then she says, I'm right. And I'm like, nah. And then finally somebody goes, yeah, she was right. And I'm like, shit. I told her, nah. You know, I'm brushing it off. She's not right. She's not. Yeah, she is. Fuck it. Okay. I screwed up.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, unless you're Lorena Bobbitt, then it's happy wife, dick on knife. Well, we were talking about severed penises earlier. Might as well end with one.
I'm going to cry.
You're going to cry now? Okay. All right. I think we've had enough. Have a wonderful day, morning, night, evening, whatever you happen to...
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag? Okay. What?
It's German.
Is that goodbye?
It could be hello. I don't know.
We got to look that up now. You said it. Now we got to look it up.
after. Bye. See you later.